my channel. My name is Crystal Brianna if you're new. So this is going to be a reaction video to the Texas measles case. There was an interview done with the parents, so we're going to listen and react along the way. Stay tuned.
The organization that interviewed them and posted that interview online is extremely anti-vaccine, and the parents still are too.
Her fever didn't want to go away.
The interview with this mother and father began in
This
English,
is so sad.
but at times switched to German with a translator. They are part of the Mennonite community
So they're from
in West
Germany?
Texas, identified by the state as the center of a measles outbreak that's infected more than 300 people since January. Their 6-year-old daughter developed pneumonia, a side effect of measles. She was the first death recorded from measles in the U.S. in a decade.
Ain't no telling how long her temperature was that high.
They still say don't do the shots. There's doctors that can help with measles. They're not as bad as they're making it out to be.
The nonprofit Children's Health Defense.
The measles not that bad, but your child died. Make it make
this
sense.
organization in 2007. He's now the Secretary of Health. CHD is strongly anti-vaccine.
The measles vaccine is unequivocally safe and effective. Misinformation and disinformation cost us lives.
Public health experts say the erosion of trust in the MMR vaccine means a once eliminated disease is once again a threat, and preventable deaths.
He says God does no wrong. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, God doesn't do wrong, but he gives
Not
us
taking
common
the
sense.
MMR. Like, the measles wasn't that bad.
Are being prevented.
The measles
no
wasn't that
more.
bad.
In Dallas, I'm Teresa Woodard.
Discover your new view.
So, I did not realize they were from Germany. I don't know what's going on there because I was doing some research, and in 2023 they had a roughly 75 measles cases, and now it's 2025. I don't see any research or data for 2025 as of yet, but for 2024, apparently they had like 475 cases of measles. So I don't know what's going on there, but that's neither here nor there. These people live here in Texas now, and I will say, as a Texan myself, Texans are very strong-willed, and they, we stand on what we believe. It's almost like when it comes to abortions, you're either for it or you're not. And I feel like with the vaccines, it's almost like you're either for it or you're not. And, I hate to come for people like morals and their character, but as a mother, I just feel like we're put here to try to do everything we can to protect our children. And I think a lot of it is just a lack of education. And, some people are going to disagree, but measles back in the day was a major, major thing. It can really be a major thing. 1 in 3 children is the fatality rate. 1 out of 3 of every 1,000 is the fatality rate when it comes to measles. Whereas, when it's something like the flu, you might have 200 deaths per year. That's children or flu cases. And the research I've done has shown 80% of those are children that are unvaccinated. So my thing is, here on this earth, there's a risk with everything, but I just feel like prevention is the key. And being a nurse in this field and witnessing, firsthand, especially during COVID, of people who stood on business per se and was like, oh, I'm not getting that vaccine. COVID isn't real. And then seeing them basically on their deathbed in the hospital, begging for any type of treatment, any type of help. I mean, yeah, I would want to be begging for help too and want any and every treatment, just to help me see another day. But at the end of the day, prevention is key. You have to prevent these things. And the lady mentioned in the video, God makes no mistakes. He doesn't make any mistakes. And he controls everything on this earth. So do you think he would, allow scientists to make certain things to give us, if it wasn't for the greater good? Now, that's not to say that there's not some bad in it. There's bad in everything. But the overall idea and the overall results are pretty good. So if things can be prevented, I feel like we owe it to ourselves and to our children to prevent it. Now, I understand completely, thinking twice, 3, 4 times when it comes to new vaccines. Because, it's new and there hasn't been enough research a lot of times to see, what happens 5, 10 years down the line from it. But MMR vaccines have been around for years and years. So I think it's just a lot of education, and who knows how long that child had a high fever. Who knows? And it's really sad. It's really sad and unfortunate. And to lose a child and then advocate to still not get the vaccines is mind-blowing to me. It is really mind-blowing. And the part that really blows me is when people say, oh, well, God makes no mistakes. I have to come back to that. No, he doesn't make any mistakes, but he gives us common sense. And he also tells us we can rush our days here on earth. And that is true. We can rush our days here on earth. He said, you take 1 step, I take 2. So, faith alone, faith without works is dead. So he can put all the resources here for you. But if you don't want to use them or take it, that's not saying that that's his will. Sometimes we rush our death. And that's the fact of the matter. Sometimes we rush our death. We really rush our death. So, I don't know. What do y'all think when it comes to the whole vaccine topic? Because to me, the Tdap, the MMR, the tetanus, all of those to me are just non-negotiable. Like, I gave it to my kids. Now, the flu shot, when they were like 1 or 2, I think that's when that one was done. I didn't do the flu at that time because they were still young, and it was like, what's the point? Because I didn't have them in daycare at the time, and they were not at school. So it really depends on the situation. But then when they get in school, and they get around other kids, you have to think like, you're not, what you're doing doesn't only affect you. And if you have these extreme views, I feel like you should just be like somewhere all to yourself almost, because what you do can affect other people. And then it comes to, oh, well, that's my right. But yeah, I feel like you have rights and that is your right. But when your right starts to affect me and mine, then that's where it becomes a problem. You see what I'm saying? That's where I have the issue. So it's not like, saying, I have a right to curse you out. Yeah, you do. That really does no harm to me. I might not like it. But you don't have the right to go contract some type of disease and then bring it back to me. Like, no. And the last point I'm going to make is, in the video, she states that, the doctors, they have treatments for measles. You don't have to get the vaccine. Do you know what's in the medication that your child is taking? Do you know every little ingredient? Do you know what they're getting? So if you're going to be an extremist and you're against like modern medicine and, the practice of medicine, I just feel like you got to stand on that all the way. Basically, like, don't risk other people's lives with these extreme beliefs, but then you want to run in the hospital system at the same time, begging for help and mercy. I mean, obviously, we're not going to turn you away, but education is key. That's all I'm saying, people. You got to be educated. Do your research, get educated on it, because everything is not a conspiracy. Everything is not as bad as it's painted out to be. But the one thing that this family should know is, measles took my child's life. So that's pretty bad. Or it has the potential to be bad. And the scary part is, who knows if this is their only child. And it just really hurts, because I don't like to even think or fathom of a child suffering and hurting because of the lack of knowledge that an adult have. I just don't. I don't know. But like I said, that's one of those topics that people usually just agree or they disagree on. Y'all drop in my comments. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to share. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching.